Now listen, he's taking over that when the Saints made.
Oh man.
Listen, when the Saints made that adjustment and they took away the underneath stuff, you saw we had a problem, especially in the deep game. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
with Slayton and everything. I'm sorry, as much as I love the Giants, I got to keep it a buck. Shane, I know there's talk about it. You got to go out and get another receiver. These guys ain't gonna cut it. Humphreys, Hyatt, and I've been praying and wishing Hyatt, because there's another guy we also traded up to get, would turn into a deep threat. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem to be it. Slayton. I used to say Slayton's not a number one. Slayton's not even a number two at this point. Bo Collins, who looked good in the preseason, he doesn't seem to be, up to snuff. He's not going to do it. You know what I mean? When Malik Neighbors out, we need to go out and get a a you know a guy who can step in to be a number one, and a guy who can be a phenomenal number two once Malik gets back. Right? They're gonna have to get crafty because they don't have a ton of cap space. To be honest, I think, and I'm not really like a super cap guy, and I don't really like the business. I like the X's and O's. I'm not really like the super business guy, but I think they have a million or less in cap space. Uh, so they're gonna have to get crafty. You know what I mean? They traded their third round pick last year to to get Dart. A lot of people believe it's going to take a third round pick. You're not going to give a second round pick up for a receiver. You know what I'm saying? You might not get a receiver for a fourth round pick. Depends. So people seem to think the going rate for a premier receiver is like a third round pick, which they don't have. They're going to have to get crafty. You're hearing names. Olave from the Saints. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I'm saying? He's a number one. You know what I'm saying? You hearing names like Jaden Waddle. I heard Jalen Waddle's name thrown out there. He's a number two. With Tyreek Hill, he's number one. I think he has the potential to come in here and be a number one, and damn sure could be a number two when Malik Neighbors get back. You mentioned Jacoby Myers, a versatile veteran. I think he's even requested a trade, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
he wants to be out of the Raiders.
He wants to be out of there. Jerry Judy, Jerry Judy. I don't like. I would do Jerry Judy. I'm not mad at Jerry Judy. He probably wouldn't be my first pick, but him and Dable, I think they were together back in the days in Alabama. You also mentioned you seem to be on your game. And this is a name that's been thrown out. Rashid Shaheed, right? Speedy, playmaking motherfucker. Then you got other names like Romeo Dobbs, Jawan Jennings. I kind of like Jawan Jennings. I would fuck with Jawan Jennings. You know what I'm saying? Christian Watson. I don't think that's too realistic. And there's a bunch of other names. Tell me what you think about these guys. Who would you pick? And what's gonna happen to the receiver position in your opinion? And then we'll probably get out of here after that.
Well, I think obviously we already know that they're doing it, man. They're really fixing to make a move, man. Like you can see the type of moves that they're making in the organization. They're clearing some cap space. They already made some moves with the practice squad. So they're moving some things around to clear up to fit another contract in. And there's still $3.5 million out there for Devin Singletary, and we know we got
Do some restructures, right? Burns, I think you can restructure Burns, right? Yeah,
yeah,
right.
so there's a couple things that we could do. We already paid $1 million to Devin, so we would owe him 2.5 if we trade him off to some. Well, we wouldn't owe. We'll gain 2.5 if he goes off to somewhere else. So
And you got the Russell Wilson potentially
we
trade
got the
too as
Russell
well,
Wilson.
right?
There's a couple of things that they could do, and just to correct you before, we do have our third pick for next year. So
I don't
we
think
lost.
we do.
Was it our third
Nah, I
that
think
we
we traded up
lost?
a Dar for that. I'm pretty sure.
Was I thought
Yeah,
I thought it was our third. No, yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it
I
was our
think
third
yeah,
for
because
third
I
for
looked
that
that up
shit.
right
But
before the show
yeah,
too.
but we have a ton of other picks, man. Like
Hold on, I got the
and for
picks out. Let me
yeah,
see.
yeah, because we have 1 through 7. You're right. The only one we
Yeah,
don't have is the third one. But we
we don't
do
have three,
have
right? We have one through
yeah
seven,
yeah
right? We
yeah,
have
we, yeah 1 through 7.
1, 2, round
Yeah, we
six
have one.
pick plus
Yeah.
a
Because
plus a
because
pick
we
from
get
Dallas
yeah we got pick from Dallas. Yeah, I'm about to say
and
because that's
Cowboy
what
and
we
the
got for
Miami
the Jackson
Dolphins. Yeah,
Dart.
yeah. And then we don't have a
Yeah.
7th round. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we don't have a 7th round, but we got a couple of extra picks. But I hear the going rate for Rashid is like I know you said it's like, but that you talk about like a number one who just wants to dip, but Saints ain't doing nothing. Like they're really not doing anything, bro. Like we may be able to skate out here with a fifth round, like even a fourth rounder. Like I'll give him a four, for Rashid because I think he's the best fit to what we need to do right now. Because Jalen Hyatt is not catching air. He's not even, homie can't even catch air in a hot air balloon, man. Like it's really, and I really had high hopes for him, but I think some people just can't play in New York, man. The brights are too light.
The brights are too light. The lights are too bright. Drunk sports talk, ladies and
you know what I
gentlemen.
mean? The lights are too bright and the brights are too light. You know what I mean? Like, I'll keep it a buck, and that's what really goes to show, like how people can progress when they leave New York. You can see how like it's very rare that you see somebody like leave another organization unless they were just really that talented and like poorly like whatever. But for the most part, why the newspaper articles always want to bring up that Sam Darnold went here, Zach Wilson went here, this guy went here, like Daniel Jones went here, like okay, so like what Odell Beckham went here, and then show their success and broadcast it on live television like they didn't have success, and even if they didn't, like now it's our fault, like, and that just goes to show like how nitty and gritty it can be out here. But and it's not like the fans is doing it gonna beat you down if you don't become a winner. We just want you to we just want you to help us win, and if you can't do it, then you can do it. And I think Rashid, what I mean, like he'll be a great person to put as a number two when Malik Neighbors comes back because they're two similar people. It's just Malik Neighbors is better because he runs better routes. So the different, and that's just my single opinion, because you could put Malik Neighbors on the field anywhere, man. You're not gonna know where he's going as long as he'll be able to get open in 2 seconds as long as you're able to
Yeah,
see him.
Malik is special. I hope. I don't
And
think. I don't think Malik is gonna come back next year. Definitely in the beginning of the season. He's gonna take a hot second, but I think towards the end of the year you'll see him get back. He's a special player. Yeah, for sure.
and we're gonna need somebody like that, and I think having that's that's my number one pick. You know what I mean? Like that's who I would go for. Because Christian Watson, we seen what he could do with Jordan Love, and Jordan
Yeah.
Love is nice too. Christian Watson don't really be going too crazy like that. I want somebody to really make offenders be like, okay, you go over there, because then that's when you can really change your play calling, because they know, damn, I really got to chase this guy, because or that or Jalen Waddle. I don't think the
Right.
Jalen Waddle is gonna really be happening, but unless the Dolphins really feel like they got to rebuild all over again, because Tyreek Hill's not going to come back the same, and
Dolphins are
two
in
is
shambles, man. They might be. I don't know the contract. Uh uh. I gotta look. I'm not gonna. I gotta look at everyone's contract. This is just like spitballing or whatever. But yeah, you might be right. I gotta look with the contract. That dictates a lot. What the contract looks like when his deal is up. Blah blah blah. But just on a talent perspective, I would, if we could somehow acquire him, I would sign. Let me look at his
yeah,
contract now. I would sign for
yeah.
Jalen
That's what
Waddle.
I'm saying, because I don't think it's possible to happen. We would have to lose more than we would be able to gain in the next years. But I know getting Rashid,
Yeah.
uh, we'll be able to get him for like something that we wouldn't even like have to break a sweat, but and still build a team, like, and still acquire some players through the draft next year, and pay some other additional players. You know what I mean? So because remember, we also have to pay his contract as well. So we get Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle just sign? Or he's coming off he's gonna want some money
Yeah. He
coming up.
signed through 30 guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
now we're not gonna
2030.
take
Yeah.
that.
No,
We're not
sorry,
gonna take it.
2028. Sorry, 2028.
Yeah,
He
so
signed through
yeah,
yeah
yeah,
2028.
because we're not gonna the reason why we can't do that, because right now we're at the bottom of the barrel. I think we're 30th to 31st in cap space, so we're at the bottom. We can't afford to just take on a wild contract like that, because
But
he's probably
the
getting paid like
NFL,
20.
the salary cap. Cheeky Barber has a saying: the salary cap is fungible. That means it's workable. It's like you could always. It's a little bit different in the NBA and really, what I'm saying, other sports. It's you want somebody, you can go make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like you could definitely go make it
Yeah,
happen, man.
and but those are everybody you just named.
Yeah,
Because I just heard only today that Jalen Waddle was gonna be there. But if they could
yeah.
somehow make that,
I don't see
those
that
would be
happening. Yeah,
me neither. But if we could get
but I would love
either
it.
one of them,
I love it.
I
Imagine
would.
Malik Neighbors and Jalen Waddle lining up on both sides, nigga.
That's
What?
crazy.
With
That's
with
crazy.
with Tyrone Tracy and
Oh
Scatterboo and
man,
Fofo in the
Scatterboo,
trap.
yeah, we got Theo
You
Johnson,
know
and
what I'm
then
saying? Theo Johnson. Ooh.
Put Rondo Robinson in the slot. I think Slayton needs to. I
Yeah.
think Slayton needs to.
Shout out to
Slayton is
Wandell.
getting out of there.
Wandell's been holding it down in the absence of
Wandell's doing it great. I think Wandell
even
has
as a deep
really
threat. Wandell's
progressed.
been holding it down.
Yep.
Shout out to Wandell. Word of mother.
Hey, the only
Facts.
thing, man, it's like the only two people I'm worried about is like on the wide receiver core is Slayton, because he caused that. You know what I mean? Like when you're a veteran like that,
Yeah.
you don't lose those fumbles in that Saints game. That was another turning point. I don't want to bring it back to whatever, but you know that,
facts.
and then you see Jalen Hyatt, who only had three receptions this year.
I've given up on
Like,
Hyatt, man. And I hope he
like
proves me wrong, but I've given up on him, man.
you
I've
know,
given
but I
up on
think
him.
I think at this point, I think he's reached his pinnacle with this organization. Maybe he goes somewhere else and
Right, needs a change of
ha-
scenery or something. But
yeah, like what you said earlier. Yeah, maybe he might go somewhere else and have more success. But right now, it's not working out for what we're trying to accomplish. And right now, even though we're not trying to get to the playoffs or Super Bowl this year, and if we do, oh man, then that's fucking awesome. But but that's the goal in mind. And if you're not able to be there and help us accomplish that goal, you know what I mean? We're not going to get there with a wide receiver on our payroll, with 6 receptions for 50 years for a whole 17 game season. You know what I mean? Like at that point, just put him in the practice squad. So trade him off or do something. Figure it out. But I think we have some moves to make, and they're definitely gonna happen before the trade deadline is over, because the Giants definitely need to win more games if Dable wants to still be intact with this Giants
Whole
organization.
fact though,